Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Monsters in the Closet, and this is a new horror anthology from the Snygg brothers, and this just so happens to be coming out January 4th, which means two things. One, F you, it's January. Everybody's favorite month of being a film fan, because it is the movie dumping ground. And is this one of those dumping ground type movies? I don't know, but this is the first film to be released in 2022 that I'm reviewing, so huzzah! Time to celebrate. It's going to be 2022 when you see this review, and yes, it's January, where the schlock comes in. But is this schlock? We'll find out. And this film is, like I mentioned, an anthology horror film, and the basic bookend, the structure, the frame narrative is this, like, recluse horror writer and director, I guess. Like, well, his books have become all these horror films and stuff like that, is like brutally murdered. His daughter shows up and is there to go through his belongings, goes on his computer, and he mentions that he had found this black magic book and wrote these stories based off of it, and then basically she's being attacked by all kinds of weird shit, and you get to watch all of these little vignettes. And basically the first one is a first-person zombie story where you're inside the head of a zombie of some... And this is such an interesting idea because it's like it's a conscious sentient human, except they don't have the control over their bodies. And it's that struggle, like you're struggling inside her head to be like, I know better. Why am I eating this person? And that was an interesting idea. And I think it played out in a decently interesting kind of way. And I'm like, okay, I could see this. Like, there's some things I didn't like about it, but you know. And then the rest of these stories were almost unwatchable. Like the second story, this couple is trying to put their house together, and they're just insufferable. The two of them, I'm just like, by the time they like mutilate each other, you're just like, good. And because, here's the thing. You have horrible, cheesy, ridiculous CGI that just completely takes you out of the film, whether you're like chopping off limbs or like getting shot and just like CGI blood blowing away everywhere. And then the acting is terrible. Like, there's these actors that are attempting to read lines and sound incredibly unnatural in their own skin. And here's the thing. All the schlocky, terrible effects and this terrible acting with these stories that have such unlikable and undesirable characters, you're just kind of like, why am I watching this? And unfortunately, that's what I felt like most of it. I kind of wish they did the zombie story in just like its own short film, because I think that would have worked fine and was pretty interesting, and I would have liked to see more. Honestly, I would see a whole movie with that kind of idea and concept. Do something with it. This just, most of it just felt so impossible to sit through. And in the end, one really clever and interesting story does not balance out some absolutely horrendous ones. So in the end, I just felt like this movie was not my thing. But maybe if you're the kind of person that really enjoys that cheesy horror effects of like crazy CGI blood and just silly limbs that look like plastic limbs and going with that, and you know, you could just sit back and enjoy the ride, then maybe give this one some love. But if not, not really going to be one that's going to click with you. But those are my thoughts on Monsters in the Closet. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.